Welcome to the Edamame Anime Club, where we've been reborn to avenge our mother's death. I'm Alexander, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Steve. Always good to be here. So, go ahead.
As I say, today we're going to be doing an anime that I kind of recommended to you.
Yeah, you were relentless on this one.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to do this like early on when we first started filming, like probably around like before October.
Yeah,
like
for sure. Yeah.
You were like, we need to do this one, and I was like, no, dude, I don't know anything about it, and I don't want to do it. And then you kept pushing it, and then you go, you know what? We were drinking, and you said, let's watch. I want you to watch the first episode.
Yeah.
So you said you want to watch the first episode. So we were using our friends. Shout out to Ashley. We were using our
big shout out.
Yeah, big shout out to Ashley. We were using her Amazon account, and you ended up buying the first episode.
Yeah, I thought it was my Amazon account logged in, and then I think she like gave you a call or gave you a text or something, like asking like.
Oh yeah, she was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
Well, we had to sign up for the High Dive subscription, and I remember. Yeah. But anyways, and that's where I watched it. I watched it on High Dive. I paid for it because again, we watch the full episode when we do it. Now, before we get into this, we haven't even said the anime yet, right?
Oshi no Ko.
Oshi no Ko is the one that you've been preaching about, and it was, it is what it is. I definitely did enjoy it. It was a good watch.
Yeah,
it's definitely an anime you can binge and one evening.
Yeah,
it was really good. I have some thoughts on it, but before we get into any of that, we first want to say thank you so much for getting us to 700 subscribers.
700 subscribers. I honestly did not think we'd be coming anywhere close to this number.
I was shocked. Yeah. I was like looking at the numbers and I was like 700 subscribers. And in honor of that, and because it was Thanksgiving, we decided to pick up a nice, delicious bottle of Wild Turkey American honey.
Yeah.
And we'll talk a little bit about. I mean, we've had Wild Turkey before.
Yeah, we've had Wild Turkey.
Yeah. But have you had the American honey?
I've never tried the American honey.
This one is actually one I always recommend when you have a cold.
When you have a cold,
because it's smooth and like the honey is really good.
It helps you go to sleep too a little bit.
You put it behind, if babies have like a tooth infection, just get a little and put it behind them.
Yeah.
So let me get you a nice little shot right here.
Yeah, this will also be the first time we've normally we just drink a beer. This will be the first time we're taking a shot on stream.
Agreed. I know. Look at those, fancy. All right, let me put the lid on this bottle, and I'll put it right here for the people to see. And if you want to try the American honey, you can get it at all your liquor outlets. You could probably, if you're watching outside of Texas, you can probably get it at your convenience store.
At your convenience store, yeah.
Texas, you can. All right. Well, Kimpai.
Kanpai. You're right. That is smooth.
Smooth.
Hell yeah. It's also not too harsh. I've only had experience with Wild Turkey 101, and that one's, I don't know, burn you.
Yeah, this one is actually really smooth. This is like a sipping whiskey.
Yeah, for sure. I
definitely
can see that.
Sip on that, and and it's pretty solid. I enjoyed this whiskey.
Put it neat. Yeah, I can definitely see that. All right, so Oshi no Ko.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get in a little bit. So we just talked about kind of the conversational aspect of it all, and about how you wanted to really watch it. And I'm very. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Charles, get out of here. I'm very nervous when you recommend an anime.
You're right. I always go for the obscure.
You always go for one that I've never heard of, and I'm okay with watching one that I never heard of because you've introduced me to my number one anime. So
Neon Genesis, right?
Neon Genesis. Yeah, you introduced me to that, and to me, it's like there's other ones that you've recommended that I've been watching, and I really like them, and it really comes full circle because. Now we're filming together and you're recommending an anime and I'm like, hold up. But after watching the first episode and, talking about it and just learning a little bit more about it and just seeing how you were just relentless on it.
Yeah.
I knew we had to do
this. Is basically my executive decision. I'll go ahead and say, there's been a few anime that I've seen. I think we've talked about it before, where I start reading the source material after watching the full season. And this is another one of those. I think the first one of the episodes we did was Chainsaw Man. I'm currently caught up 100% on the manga.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I like the manga on that one. And then Oshi no Ko. I haven't fully caught up with it yet, but I've been reading Oshi no Ko manga, and it's pretty good too.
Did you read the source material for with Rudius?
Mushoku Tensei, yes. I'm on light novel 20 on that one. I had to wait for the English translations because I don't know if you are familiar with Mushoku Tensei, but the light novels were like machine translated from Japanese to English. So it was a rough read.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I've been waiting on, I think they're just came out with light novel 21, or it's about to come out for the English, like official, Seven Seas, Open Seas. I forget who it is that's doing the official translations. But yeah, Mushoku Tensei is another one. I'm reading the source material.
Yeah. So you're still reading this one, though?
Yes. I haven't completely caught up with
All right.
it.
Yeah. All right. Now, so let's get into a little bit of the background information of this anime, and then before we get into our reviews.
Okay. Oshi no Ko stands for, there's two translations for it. My favorite idol, or their idol's children. So
Yeah.
and I think they reference their idol's children on the outro of this show.
Mm-hmm.
If you read the lyrics for it.
Yeah. And both translations work pretty good.
Yeah. It's written by Akasaka, who's well known for Kaguya-sama, Love is War. That's another one I heard is good. I haven't read it nor seen it,
Okay.
but that's his like most famous writing. And then he started writing Oshi no Ko after it. I don't know if that one's done. Someone would also have to enlighten me. As of November 2023, Oshi no Ko has sold over 15 million copies of the manga, which is pretty big numbers.
I don't really have a comparison to that, but I think that's a lot. It sounds like a lot comparative to what I've seen before.
Yeah.
But.
And of course, the anime began airing in May and finished up in June of this year.
Okay.
One of the things that I thought was really interesting was when Akasaka was writing this, he did a lot of research on the entertainment industry, did a lot of interviews with famous YouTubers, current actors, current people doing film in Japan. And he says in an interview that many of the stories in Oshi no Ko are based on real life events from people he's talked to.
Oh,
which that's pretty
yeah,
interesting.
that's actually because it's whoever you can tell whoever made this story.
Yeah,
they actually did do a lot of research behind it.
Yeah,
because they cover a lot of different entertainment outlets.
Yeah, for sure. And you actually see a lot of that in the manga too, as he's continuing along with the story. I think that's pretty much it on the interesting facts. As far as the reception goes, it's more about the intro, the song called Idol.
By Yosabi.
Yeah. Oh, you know who it is?
Yeah.
Yosabi's, yeah. Reached 100 million views worldwide. Over 100 million views on Spotify and YouTube within the first 2 weeks of the anime's release. It also is the first Japanese anime song to top the Billboard Global Charts in the top 100. First anime song ever to do that.
It is good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, and I was telling you that like it made my Spotify top, my Spotify repeats. It's on there right now. Both I have two Yosabi songs, and that's one of them. Yeah, because it is a great song. It's a great song. It's phenomenal. Sure. It's so good. That band, whoever, I don't know them that much. Well, except the two songs they have. Yeah, both of them are solid songs, and I enjoyed it. And the music and the entirety of it all was pretty good.
Yeah, I think I was even spamming like your Discord channel with like the full music video.
Oh yeah. We on our Discord we have it's called Music That Slaps, and you put that one on there. Yeah. And so it was really good. I'm really surprised. Is there anything on the reception on like perversion or anything like that?
There is a huge controversy that revolves around episode 6, and actually I read a little bit into it, and we can talk about it more. But it's one of those controversies. The episode itself is very controversial, but there's a second underlying aspect of it that ties back into Asakasa, where he says he uses stories from real life. So there was like a lot of backlash on that, and I guess we'll touch on it. When
we get to that episode.
When we get to episode 6, yes.
So one of the things I've noticed, and now you said this is not a true isekai.
It's not a true isekai because they're reborn in the same world.
Yeah, which is really I don't know what the name would be, but either way, he's reborn, and normally when you see this type of being reborn as a baby with the mind of an adult, there's level of perversions that happen. There's and that was one of the big things that Mushoku Tensei.
No, Mushoku Tensei got a lot of flack for that. Yeah,
got a lot of heat for that, and I think most isekais get heat for that.
One of the things I've seen people kind of like troll on the internet with is they use the phrase native isekai, which I don't know what that's even supposed to mean, but I've seen people get very upset over the term of native isekai. I don't know if this is a native isekai or if they're saying Mushoku Tensei is a native isekai.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of just to rile people up, just to try to define the genre a little more.
Yeah, and I mean this genre is one that you kind of really you got me into the isekai genre.
Yeah.
Like majority of the isekais I've watched are with you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting.
And I've seen actually a bunch of isekai. I kind of like isekai.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, I'm telling you, Mashoku Tensei is blowing me away.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like way more. I think like you're invested, like, but like I'm more emotionally invested.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Now that we talked a little bit about the background, the reception, and things like that, let's go ahead and give our reviews on this one. And I'll let you go first.
Okay. Obviously you can tell I really liked this anime. I'm gonna go ahead and give it very high remarks. I think this one could be one of the top contending anime of the 2023 year. So it probably won't win. There's too many good ones. Jujutsu Kaisen, Mushoku Tensei. But Gamase, we haven't seen that one yet, so we don't know.
Gamase season 2. Oh, Eminence in Shadow too.
Eminence in Shadow. Yeah. Okay, I'm watching that one. Yeah. But I think this one, for me personally, could easily contend with my favorite anime of the year. So I'm going to give it 4.75 edamames out of 5.
Yeah. Do you so what's giving it these high remarks?
Dude, I was just mainly the characters. Like, I really like the story of revenge. I like the dynamics between every single person. There's not a single character I disliked. This is actually my second watch through. So of course I watched it in the beginning, in May when it first aired, and now we rewatched it again because we always watch the anime seasons fully. We don't before we film it. Yeah. So, and I actually found myself feeling even more like aligned with the characters, like especially like Akane. Like I didn't really like her in my first watch, and now like I see her impactfulness as a character. To me, like it's got layers to it. Yeah. And maybe I'm just reading a little bit too much into it, but I really like Aquamarine. I like the Ruby's not as standoutish yet as far as the anime goes, but
that's surprising. I think she's great.
Yeah. I like kind of like this the sliminess of the entertainment industry. Like they do, it's smartly done. Like it's just very hard to find a flaw in it. If anything, maybe I want to see more things animated, but the pacing might be a little slow. But I honestly don't mind it. Like I think it fleshes out the characters very well. Yeah. So that's to me why I think it's really good.
Now we have talked about Oshinoko for a bit, and I initially would give this a 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna up it.
Okay.
Because I've been thinking about it for a little bit, and the story is gonna unfold to where I think it's gonna get really good. And I don't really know much about how the story is gonna unfold, but the reason I'm giving this I'm gonna give this a 4 edamames.
All right.
Out of 5. And the reason I'm giving it a 4 is because the music, amazing. Intro, amazing. The story is good.
Mm-hmm.
Animation, amazing.
Yeah, the animation was top notch.
Animation was just great, solid animation. I don't know if it's CGI or anything like that. I can't tell if it is. If it is, I couldn't. It's over my head. But it was a really good animation, and I remember watching it like this is amazing. Now, the reason I don't give this a higher remark than a 4 is because I really developed like my self insert.
Okay.
Was with Ai.
With Ai. Oh, okay.
With Ai.
Ai. Yeah, we got on the wall.
Yeah. Because I love that character. I love this idea of like innocence, where she basically is, even though she, in the eyes of the entertainment industry, she's pregnant with a child.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that she still had a level of innocence. She had a level of like love, and she was just such a great character to me. But when I started really thinking about it, all the characters' development that are really prominent really are good. All of them. Every character, there was not one character that I liked more than the other. I mean, there's a standoff, but the character development was really solid. The only thing I don't like is the plot gets a little. It seems like it gets a little away from the story.
Like convoluted in a sense.
It's not that convoluted. It just gets away from the story. It's some of the, it's one of those things where like sometimes some of the episodes you can maybe switch and swap.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
And nothing wrong with that, but to me it didn't shine as a straight through plot, and it seemed like there was like the main character's like main plan,
his motivation, and
was getting
on revenge.
Yeah, on revenge was like really getting tainted. Like he was basically just doing things to get closer and closer to this. He had ulterior motives to get closer to it, but he never it seemed like he was getting more invested.
Yeah, you definitely don't see the payoff of it in
Exactly.
season 1. Okay,
So
I could see that.
there was a lot that went in there, but yeah, I'm giving it a 4.
So you were talking about how much you liked I. I still think this is funny, and I bring it up to you every now and then. When we were watching episode 1, you literally said, I'm really starting to like this I character, right?
Oh.
It's that the iconic scene, the iconic ending of episode 1, right?
Don't give it away
You're
yet.
right.
Spoilers.
You're right. So I'm getting spoilers.
Yeah, this is a huge spoiler. So wait on this, but bring it back. Bring it back.
We'll bring it back.
I think you should definitely tell them about it because there's a funny part in this. All right. Well, before you get into that, let's go and get what other people are thinking.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and read an 8 out of 10 review off of IMDb.
Okay.
This one's by Rebel Panda.
Shout out to Rebel Panda.
Lies. Who among us hasn't told a lie or two? Whether it's telling a white lie or presenting a false version of ourselves, celebrities, actors, musicians, and artists must constantly maintain a public image, which may require telling a lie or two. As a famous idol, Ai Hoshino's life revolves around lying. The truth becomes the truth, are the words, or the lie becomes the truth, are the words she lives by. She lies to her friends and fans, but no one can see through the facade beneath her starry eyes. Oshino Ko's most provocative scene tragically occurs in its feature-length premiere. The tearjerker ending propelled the series into popularity, leading to disappointment when the rest proved to be an entirely different beast. Some viewers may build false expectations, but those who approach it open-mindedly will enjoy where it takes them. The premiere was a well-written story, best left in the past. It initially evokes the untouchable masterpiece, Perfect Blue, but aside from the final scene, the juvenile execution pales in its comparison. The episodes after the premiere are more refreshing.
So yeah, again, if you watch episode 1, the story's going to be completely different than what's to follow.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I didn't know which route they were taking on this, and then it got clearer toward the end of at the end of episode 1, not toward, but at the end, it got clearer.
Yeah.
What route it was going to take.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, he did say something that I hinted at about Perfect Blue.
Oh yeah.
And you can kind of see. I don't see it like inspiration, maybe, but you can kind of see some of the things relating back to Perfect Blue.
Yeah.
And we talk about Perfect Blue all the time.
Yeah. The parallels between the idols.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like moving up, and like it's like the dark side of the entertainment industry. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of it. There's a lot that went into it, and really you see that spill out in episode 6 with one of the characters.
Yeah.
So and that's one you were referring to earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so definitely, I agree with that. I mean, 8 out of 10, right?
Yeah, he gives it an 8 out of 10.
All right. Well, let's get a bad one, or a semi-bad, or whatever you can.
So I had to dig deep on this one. There wasn't anyone saying anything bad on this. I had to go to Rotten Tomatoes, and there was only 2 bad reviews. And this one seems the most coherent. I don't know. These other people are just. I'm not even gonna bother with them. Anyways, so this one's written by Cox R. He spells it with a K.
Okay.
So, yeah. He gives it 1 out of 5 stars. A grown man doctor that has creepy obsession with an idol gets reincarnated as her kid. The author is just living out his own weird fantasies and glosses over the industry that's absolute cancer. It's the peak of weak. Anyone with 2 brain cells can tell the hype is 100% from the author's last manga. Quote-unquote shocking melodrama and cute stuff being idolized and blown up for the less intelligent portion of the population.
Oof. Damn.
So he's basically saying you're a midwit if you like Oshino Ko.
Yeah, I can see what he's getting at with the whole doctor obsession.
Yeah, he also alludes that the only reason Oshino Ko is popular is because of Kaguya-sama.
Yeah, that's the implication there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that, like, as far as like the doctor aspect of it, I mean, really, you pay your bills, you can idolize whoever you want. Like, you're a doctor, if you want to idolize a pop star, you can do that.
I'm surprised he totally glossed over Ruby's character. I don't know her character's name before the isekai aspect of it. Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, there was I feel like that's a small weird part of it all. Like, it's not, to me, it's like they hint at some scenes with that, which we'll cover, but really the whole part of it is that Ruby is she's like enjoying what's going on with her current life because her previous life
Yeah.
was not what
Yeah.
she like she talks about that throughout. Like that's the only redeeming part of why the isekai works so well with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can see why he didn't include that. But as far as the creepy doctor, yeah, I guess he's kind of not totally wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So,
All right. Spoiler section now.
Tom, let's get in the spoiler section. Let's really jump into it.
All right.
So this, spoiler time. What were you gonna say earlier? Which
right.
I want you to. I do want you to say it.
So what I was saying was funny about the tragic end of episode 1, right? You literally said to me like, I'm starting to like Ai. Like she's really grown on me. And then there's like a knock on the door, and she walks over and opens the door, and you're like, no fucking way. You literally had those words like within the span of like 20 seconds, and you're like, I really like Ai. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, I was. I invested because I watched this twice. The first episode.
Yeah.
I watched it twice. The first episode I did watch twice, and
yeah, we watched it together, and then
I watched
so however many months later, we watched it again. Yeah.
So the first episode is actually an hour and 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was
It was actually a movie premiere. I don't know if we glossed over that, but it premiered in theaters in Japan as the episode 1. That was a 1.5 hour movie.
Yeah. I mean, we should. I mean, I would love to have watched it in theaters. That would have been awesome because I love going to movies to watch anime.
Yeah.
But that first episode really got to me, and like, we'll jump into it. So it's really
the main plot aspects of it are Ruby's character is a doctor who happens to watch over Ai as she's pregnant. Like he not only idolizes Ai, yes, Aqua. I don't know what his doctor's name is. Aqua's previous life is a doctor.
Yeah, we'll refer him to the doctor.
Yeah.
I know his name is like Dr. Gurusaki or something like that, but we'll refer to him just as like just as the doctor, or as Aquamarine.
Yeah. So he's got first and foremost, he's got like a cancer patient who's like, I want to say she's like 15 or 16, and this is who Ruby is, and they both happen to bond because their favorite idol is Ai. Mm-hmm. And as time goes on, Ai gets pregnant, and they're trying to keep it under wraps, and Ruby as the doctor becomes her I guess maternity person. I don't know.
Yeah. So Aqua. So the doctor really comes in and basically Ai shows up, and then she's like he recognizes her.
Yeah.
Aqua recognizes her. He recognizes that is Ai, and that she's trying to keep it under wraps. And they're going to his facility because it's known, that was like recommended, like to use them because it's out of the city.
Yeah, he's like in the boondocks.
Yeah, so like they're really not, they're not like fan base there, whatnot. So we get a scene where that, but before that happens, actually, Ruby, the one that's a cancer patient, she does pass on.
Yeah, she passes away.
Yeah,
through complications.
Yeah. So there's a little feedback I'll give on the time part of it all, but yeah, she does pass away, and then really I think the next scene Ai is willed in there.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah,
and she's there, and he's just like, oh, I'll be your doctor.
He promises to keep her secret.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, he should.
Yeah.
I mean, most doctors should keep that, or the license deal with. We get a nice scene with Ai and the doctor where they're on the rooftop talking about it, about life and whatnot, and I think this is where she kind of explains like that there's someone following her.
Yeah, she explains. Yeah, that I don't know if it's someone that's following her, but yeah, she's like, I think just kind of hitting at the dark side that she can't let her secret out, kind of thing.
Which is and you, I don't know, this is a real thing, right?
Yeah,
this is legit. Like as an idol, you can't. You're like, if you get pregnant in Japan, like your image is gone.
I mean, you got to even think like even now, like popular streamers that are women, like try to hide the fact that they even have boyfriends. Like this, it's an effect here in America. Yeah. So I can only imagine Japan where they take the whole otaku culture like way elevated. Here we kind of make fun of them and just call them simps, but otaku's like, they take pride in the fact that they have their favorite idols and stuff like that.
Yeah, like you have to be pure in the eyes of the public to actually build a career. And you find that out later on with multiple characters that they're lying. Like lying is also a big theme here.
Yeah. Of course, just like that other person said. But yeah, who hasn't told a lie? And then it's everything is built on lies here.
So we get a really interesting like dynamic between the doctor and Ai, and he does offer her some advice and on like about the baby and stuff like that, which was not professional, by the way, not professional at all. But it dives into this relationship with I and the doctor, and this is where I can let's we go through like the first like what 20 minutes maybe.
It's something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like where it's like the doctor setting or the hospital setting, and then right when he finds someone that's been like are you the one that's treating I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Some guy comes to like question him.
And he's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "No one." He like takes off running, and the doctor goes after him, which I didn't want.
Yeah.
Like.
And actually, this entire scene is happening as Ai's like going into labor, right?
Oh.
She's like going into labor, and
Yeah.
you know, the doctor's. I think he's like taking a break or something. Like he's outside, like smoking a cigarette, and then the guy comes and like talks to him, and then that's when he runs after him. Yeah.
Yeah, and he chases him into like the woods, and there's like a little like cliff, and he gets pushed off.
Yeah. He gets
And
murdered.
He gets murdered, and and then the next scene is he's reborn as the child of I.
Yes, and I has twins.
Yeah.
So, and I actually kind of like the aspect where like they both understand that each other's been reincarnated and they have a previous lives, right? Like they don't know who the other person is, but one Aqua is of course the doctor, and then Ruby is the child cancer patient. I don't know what her name is.
Yeah. Well, which is really funny, and because it's like, why not just like tell you,
Yeah.
I was a doctor, blah, blah, blah. I was doctor this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was cancer patient this person. You know,
Yeah.
what I didn't like though was that the doctor chased after this like fan. I didn't like that. I just feel like that seems out of character for like anyone to chase after this guy. He didn't do
Yeah.
anything wrong. Like he just asked a question, and even though yes, he's a stalker, and you know he's like leaking information and whatnot, but he ended up chasing him, and then so that was out of character, I think, for the doctor. But also, why did the guy end up just murdering the doctor?
Just you know, one of those things where he's just upset and is taking it out any way he can. The doctors also help hiding the secret, you know, so I could see him, you know, misaligning his
yeah.
frustration onto that.
Yeah, and then also, so Ruby, when she died, she's been died. We don't know how long she's
Yeah,
been dead.
I don't know the time frame on this either.
Yeah.
It makes sense that like the doctor died while I was in labor and he's, you know, transferred to it.
Yeah,
But,
but Ruby, how long she's been dead for a bit?
Yeah.
Like a couple days at least, or
Yeah.
weeks or months. We don't know, but
I don't know.
either way, it doesn't match the time of her being born, which I did not like that. I would rather both of them like die at the same time.
Yeah.
That would to me be a better story. But that's just me overanalyzing.
Overanalyzing just the isekai
Yeah.
reincarnation part.
All right, so that's one part of the story of episode 1, and then now it switches gears. Now it's all about Ai keeping a secret that she has twins.
Yeah.
And about her like pop star idol status is like going on. She has a basically the kids are getting watched by the manager's wife,
Miyako, I believe.
Miyaku. Yeah. So she is watching the children as kind of like not the mom, but like a nanny type thing.
Yeah, it was actually kind of a funny scene of how she gets roped into it because there's a scene where she's like getting frustrated with it, right? And then Aqua like is afraid that she's not gonna watch him anymore. So he speaks to her like in English. So he starts talking, and she's like taken aback, and he's like promising her like a good-looking husband in the future if he like helps raise him and Ruby.
Well, she also threatened like blowing like the whole. Like,
That's what it was.
Like blowing, like just like telling the media, you know, like being what do they call them? I forgot.
Like a leaker or something.
Yeah. There was a term for it, like muckraker.
Mm.
Anyway, she's gonna like release all the information to the media, and then Aqua obviously knows that he can't do that.
Yeah.
And so him and I think Ruby also assists.
Yeah, I think she does too.
Yeah, like she's like, we need to do something, and then he does the whole about like you'll find happiness and love and all that stuff.
As long as you take care of me and Ruby.
Yeah, which is really funny. I thought all the characters were great. I really think that again, I really grew on me. She was a really good character in my opinion, but really the one that really shined to me was Ruby. Because I like because they're children.
Yeah.
They're kids and they're like just being kids. And she really embraces the fact that she's a kid.
Yeah.
While Aqua is kind of like not a kid.
Yeah.
He's like a kid, like looks like a kid, but he's like a grown up.
Yeah, he's like a middle-aged man who
Yeah.
passed away, doctor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ruby was still a kid when she passed away.
Yeah. So we get that kind of like aspect between them and the dynamic. They also don't know each other, or they find out that they both can speak when they walked in, and they both have this funny scene where they look at each other and they go, "What? A baby's talking?" So that's when they kind of know that they've been like isekai'd.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really good scene. So yeah, it talks about their day to day. We get a big scene with the acting part of it all.
Oh yeah. I guess like Aqua's older now. He's like maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And like he's like he's free to talk now. And so he ends up talking to one of the directors that's like they hire Ai to do like a really mundane scene. Like it's not a very big role for Ai, right? Like she's like given 10 seconds in it. But in it, in filming this, Ruby talks to, or Aqua talks to the director, and he's like, you know, gives him a nickname. He calls him like precarious or precocious or something like that, and then asks him to act in one of his other films. And it's in this film that the director asks Aqua to film in that we meet Kane for the first time.
Yeah, Kana is she plays she has more of a story. She's actually she grew on me so fast.
Yeah.
So her whole gig as she's a child actor is that she can cry within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, and she's a kid. That's like her big move. But man, she has layers to her.
Yeah,
we find out these layers later on. But so they're acting, and then they end up bringing Aqua into one of the scenes as an actor because, you know, he's talking like a grown up. He has like a good vocabulary, and he knows like big words. And they give him a scene where he's like supposed to be creepy, and he really just acts like an adult.
Yeah,
which made him creepy.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to act, but he's just, you know, tries to play the part, and yeah, so he just acts like an adult,
And it really just like kind of like it did piss off Kana.
Yeah.
Because she's just like, oh, he's great, you know.
Yeah.
And then it also like it showed that like he had like acting chops, like not really acting chops then, but later on, you know, he becomes a you know, really good actor.
Mm-hmm.
But we get this kind of idea between about Kana and Aqua, that there's something there. There's like a rivalry there, and you know, rivalries turn into romance, in my opinion. So there's a little bit there going later on, but I won't dive deep into it. All right, so now we get we now they're acting. Ruby's not doing much.
Yeah, no.
And then the only really other scene before we get into this final act is that Ruby and Aqua go to one of her shows.
Yeah.
And they have like a light dance battle or whatever. They're like with the light sticks, and they blow up on like Twitter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Of being like the cute babies at a show. But it was funny because they're supposed to be like incognito.
Yeah. And
they're just like they're now like being like all over the internet.
Yeah. They're like still in like the little baby crib thing. Like, like how can babies even do this? And they're like dancing in sync and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really
it was a funny scene.
I liked it. All right. You got anything else before we get this final scene on episode 1?
No, let's get into it.
Okay. So it really starts off with Ai making a phone call, and she's calling someone, and we assume it's the father of the kids.
Yeah, we assume.
And she's like, you got to meet them. They're great.
They're really smart, et cetera, et cetera.
And and then the next scene is that she has been she's back at the house doing a day-to-day, and
she's about to have a really big concert. Like they're in like basically like the Superdome of Idols, like right, like they finally made it big. Like the Bikamachi,
Bikamachi is their group name. Yeah. And then there's a knock or a ring at the door. She answers it, and it's the stalker.
It's the same stalker that pushed Aqua off the cliff earlier.
Yeah, when he was a doctor.
Yeah.
So this is probably like 4 to 5 years.
Yes.
So it's like 5 years later, maybe that this happens, and he stabs Ai, and this scene hurt.
Dude, it was hard for me to watch. Like I was tearing up, bro.
It is a tearjerker. If you really did invest, you did your self-insert as Ai. There's a couple of reasons why. You can peel this back like an onion. So basically, you start off with him saying like, you know, you had a baby, you ruined, like just like harping, and she's like, I remember you, I know who you are. He's like, no, you don't care about your fan. And then she says his name, and you can see that he hurts now.
Yeah,
he hurts, and he's like in shock, and he ends up taking off running away. And I'll talk about what happens to him afterwards, but Aqua witnesses this whole thing.
Aqua's on that side of like the partition with Ai. And so, you know, she's like slumped over, and on the opposite side of the door is Ruby, like banging there, like asking, like, what's wrong? Like, what's happening? Yeah. And, you know,
Ai positioned herself where she leaned into the door between them, where Aqua and I are on the same side of the door, and Ruby is on the other side of the door, like not seeing it happening but hearing it.
Yeah.
And Aqua's witnessing it and hearing it and just being part of it. Um, and yeah, we get this really, really good scene about basically I just kind of telling Aqua and Ruby about the future of them and what she wants and would it be awesome if this happened. And then she
She's like, Aqua, maybe you'll be an actor.
yeah,
Maybe Ruby will be an idol.
yeah.
And then the lights fade from her eyes, like her stars disappear.
Yeah. She has if you look at me, she has stars in her eyes. You can see it from here. It just goes out. And then we get a still, like a really nice still, a picture of them where it's her hugging Aqua, Ruby on the other side, and you see that she's just dead.
Yeah.
She died holding Aqua, which to me was like it was shocking.
Yeah.
I was like hurting. I didn't expect it. I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't know. But man, it was a tearjerker for me. Like I watched it the first time with you and I was like, what? I was shocked. The second time I watched it, I was a little tipsy and I get hit hard. And I was like, it's so sad. Even though I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then of course, the next scene is they're like a reporter or something talking about that the idol from the idol group Bikamachi has now passed away.
Yeah.
The murderer that is no longer at large. He's deleted himself.
Yeah, he got rid of himself. And then it goes into like all the buzz that her death, Ai's death caused, like as a media buzz. And I don't know if they refer to it as like kind of like a flash of a flame or what they're talking about, but Ruby's upset because people only cared for like 3 days, and then after that, the news was done. Like nobody cared about Ai anymore.
Oh yeah, and it really just shows like that's the lifestyle,
the fickleness of the entertainment industry.
Yeah, and then we get them kind of now. It's been 10 years later, and they're they're like 14, 15 years old.
I want to say they're 16, but yeah,
they're going
15, 16. Yeah,
they're teens now.
Yeah.
And they're we get them as grown ups, and they're leaving the house, but they were both kind of like I remember a part where he asked the director to raise him.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, he does ask the director to raise him afterwards. Yeah.
And she's raised by the
Miyako.
Miyako, yeah. And then the guy Miyako's husband or boyfriend left.
Which is like the director of Bikamachi. Like they were both like working together, managing Bikamachi.
Yeah, Strawberry Productions.
Yeah, Strawberry Productions, and then the I guess the producer, the manager, whatever, he just disappears. Like you don't see him anymore.
Yeah, he just dips out, and then that
Miyako continues to raise Ruby and Ai as her own children.
No, I do think that was really cool. I'm glad she stuck around, but also like she was kind of threatened.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was the first episode, which is titled "Mother and Children," appropriately named.
Very appropriately.
All right. So now we get that Aqua has a plan.
Yeah.
He has a revenge plan to.
He's gonna find the one who's responsible for Ai's death.
Yeah, because even though the guy that stabbed her was the one that did it.
Yeah, she talked to somebody. On the phone. Yeah. So us as the audience know that there's someone that set that up.
Yeah, and he thinks it's his father, and he also thinks since he's in the since I was in the entertainment industry, he thinks that he must also be in the entertainment industry.
And so that's why he decides he wants to. Well, I don't think he decides he doesn't want to be an actor, right? But he wants to be behind the scenes now, and he's working with the director. He's like a video editing and stuff like that. Yeah,
he's like writing and things like that. He's doing some like odd job. He's like the director's his mentor.
Yeah.
So,
Come by.
Yeah, this stuff's good, guys. I'm gonna take a sip and have it and baby it.
Not me.
Not you. Well, now this episode is number 2. Is number called Third Option, and we get them now. They're they're teenagers. They're going. They're both thinking about. Well, actually, really, Ai and Ruby are brother and sister, and he has his sister complex, which you keep coming back to.
Yeah, let me talk about that. One thing that I like is that I had 2 stars in her eyes.
Yeah.
And now Ruby has 1 star, and
Aqua has like opposite eyes too.
Yeah, opposite eyes. Yeah.
Which is really cool. I like that as well.
Yeah.
But she's trying to become an idol.
Yeah.
And Aqua does not want her to.
Yeah, and Aqua's like pulling out all the stops to prevent it, like lying to her, like stealing her phone, like
relentless.
Yeah.
he is not giving up on her, and she ends up auditioning to be in the
Yeah.
idol group.
Yeah, she's like scouted like on the street, and then like
she gets scouted later on. She's an
oh, you're right,
audition,
you're right.
and she doesn't get here. She gets a call back, and he says like, "Oh no, like we don't want you."
Yeah.
And it turns out that it's the director calling, that and basically
yeah, like Ruby manipulated.
Aqua manipulated.
Aqua
Manipulated the director or manipulated the results and like blocked the number, so like the agency never even called her.
Yeah.
And if they did, it was blocked. And then later on in that episode, she does get scouted to be in the group. Right. And Aqua actually dresses in disguise and pretends to be in an agency.
Yeah, he decides I'm going to scout some idols too. Yeah.
He scouts one of the idols that's in that same production that Ruby gets recruited by, or it gets approached to, and he finds out all this back stuff about it, about how like it has nepotism, how they don't pay like so much.
Yeah.
And he's just finding out from all the information.
Yeah, and this is the same group that Ruby got scouted by, right? Yeah. So he's like kind of undercover doing that. So then Aqua just decides, you know what, like, I can't stop Ruby from being an idol, and we'll do the third option, which is revive B Komachi and have Ichigo Productions.
It's not revive B. They don't know it's B Komachi.
Yeah, well, Ichigo Productions going to do a new idol group. Yeah.
Yeah. We find out later that they name it B Komachi, but he creates a whole idol group just to recruit Ruby, and that's, to me, it's really, I don't know if it's good or bad. I mean, he's doing it for ulterior motives maybe, but in my opinion, like, he obviously wanted to protect his sister from the dark side of the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's really how it actually wraps up with this final part with the schooling.
Yeah. Well, it kind of reveals that Aqua does decide to act after all, and it's because he wants to start DNA testing everyone he meets while acting to see if they're his father.
Well, actually, I'm glad you brought that up. So he actually, that might be in episode 3.
I don't know. I right here, DNA test to find the killer. I think he just comes up with a plan. Because he doesn't want to act, and he begins acting.
Well, the reason he begins acting is because Kana.
Yeah.
So he meets her at the school.
At the very end of the episode.
Yeah, and Kana is working with the production. So this is one of the best, not the best, one of my favorite scenes from this is that he knows the producer of the group Kana's working with.
Yes.
Because he actually unlocked Ai's phone. I had 3 phones.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Actually, that was a really good scene.
A personal, a professional, and then she had this third phone.
A personal one, yeah. Like her burner phone.
Yeah, it was like a burner phone. Yeah. And this third phone had a lock on a key. So he actually went through all of the different scenarios. And every time you put in the password 5 times, you got to wait 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And he did the math, and he was doing it for 4 years.
Yeah.
Until he finally cracked it.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed it, but in the introduction, it shows him typing in the password. As one of like the little quick scenes.
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah. Whenever he cracks it, it's like, I don't remember the number. It's like 45101 or whatever. Yeah. And that's little sequence as part of the intro of him cracking the phone.
Oh yeah. I do remember the numbers. I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
So he cracks the phone and he finds out the producer of that Kana, who's now adult, now a teenager, and she apologizes to Aqua for the way she was acting.
Yeah.
And she's still acting, and she's acting in a manga. Like a recreation or a manga live production.
I forget what they call it. I want to say it's called Sweet Now or something like that. I forget.
It's so, and Aqua's read that manga.
Yeah.
And she's basically saying like, the producer, I can talk to him. He's this guy, and Aqua knows that he's in Ai's phone.
Yeah.
So then the next scene or the next episode.
I don't have the name of episode 3. Do you?
It's a manga.
Oh, manga.
Yeah,
okay.
Which appropriately fits because like they're doing that manga, and there's a lot of to take in on the episode 3 because the first thing is Kana is now kind of a washed up actress. She was a child actress that was like really popular, and then her fame and everything kind of dwindled away.
Oh, see, you kind of blended episode 2 to episode 3. So basically, like Aqua takes Kana to his director's place, right? There's a comedic relief with the director's mother as they're like having like heart to heart, and she keeps busting in to like offer him food. But Kana's trying to get Aqua to act in that, saying she has the in for him, that she can get him a spot because she knows the director. And then Aqua realizes that the director is related to Ai because of that scene. 4 years to crack the passcode for Ai's phone. So that was basically the main reveal of like the first half of episode 3.
Yeah.
So now Aqua decides he will act in this so he can get closer to the director.
Yeah. And and it's actually a really funny scene because he's like, no, I don't want to act. No, No, I don't want to act. No.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, he's all, okay, I'll act.
Yeah. All right, you got me.
Yeah. All right, just my arm. And and we get to find out a little bit more about what Kana's been going through with the group, the acting group she's in. Apparently, you don't need to be a good actor.
Yeah.
You don't need to be a good actor if you're a good looking guy. So all the guys in the show are not great actors, and they stunt Kana's ability to act.
Yeah. And also, so they're not good actors because they're just cast for their looks only.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Yeah.
So Kana can't really she has no range that she can use to be able to show her acting.
Yeah. She doesn't want to outshine them like too bad to like piss everybody off. And
and they're also not following the manga either.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not doing justice to the manga.
Yeah, it even shows like how the manga writer herself is watching it and saying like it kind of sucks.
Why are you still watching? He's I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll just keep watching it. And so everyone's like dropping the show.
Yeah, everyone's dropping the show. And then it comes to the time where the director is casting Aqua to play the specific role, and it's like the most iconic scene of the manga. Like the reason, like it's epitome, what do they call it?
Paramount. Paramount of the entire manga. Like the climax.
Yeah, the climax. There you go. Yeah, it's like the climax of the entire manga. It's the most famous scene. And Kana asks Aqua to help her make the scene good. And like Aqua like just decides to like he's playing like a stalker, which is very ironic. Yeah, considering,
Yeah, and he does a good job of the acting. But the funny part is that he actually kind of does. He doesn't improvise. He improvises, but based off he does it off the manga. So it's not him doing it. He's using the manga, the source material to actually guide.
He's thinking scene for scene, recreating the manga.
Yeah, while they had another direction. But the reason he does this though is funny because he actually gets a cigarette butt and tests.
Yes, this is where he tests the DNA.
He tests. That's the reason why he goes, well, I might as well just go out. I don't even care how this turns out.
Yeah.
But I want to give the manga justice. I also want Kana to shine.
Yeah.
So like that's the reason he's like, I don't really care. I'm just gonna do it. Because he's already got what he wanted. He finds out that the director or the producer
is not related to
him. So he goes out there and does the amazing, just looks creepy as hell.
Yeah, I actually really like that scene. It was a dope scene. There's even things where like he's like positioning himself like perfectly for the camera, and like the other actors are like the B actors are like getting splashed on because it's like raining and they're in like a warehouse. They're getting disheveled and like not in their element. But Aqua is just on point.
He's killing it, and this is what leads. So he basically attacks Kana, whoever Kana's being.
Yeah,
and then he actually gets punched in the face.
Yeah, because he's acting so well. He
gets punched in the face, and after the scene, Kana starts to cry, which is funny because it's like that was her big move.
Yeah, that is her big thing. The child actress who could cry on the spot.
So she starts crying, and she gets to go really amazing performance. The manga writers are blown away, and the show blows up again. Yeah. People that drop the show rewatch it. People that are still watching it saying this is the best. I'm so glad they finally.
Yeah, they did it. They did it justice.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so this all happens, and they wrap up the filming. Now the producer of the show that we now know is not related to Aqua and Ruby. He actually is trying. He has information on Ai. And he basically says, like, do more jobs and I'll give you all the information you want to know.
Yeah. Also, I wrote down here, and I don't quite remember it, but right at the very end of the episode, they're trash talking Arena Kana.
Are they?
I wrote that down as like a star or something to portray on, but I don't remember that in the episode. Maybe like as they're watching it, everyone's focused on Aqua. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. They might be.
It might just be the fellow actors that are trash talking Arena Kana.
Yeah. All right. Well, we get into episode 4, which is now titled Actors.
Actors. Okay.
Which is, it was a pretty good episode. These episodes are really good. They're rolling really well. We get to know a little more. Actually, I might be blending 3 and 4 together.
No. Well, this is definitely the start of episode 4. The end of that,
Yeah. But we get that, he said, I'll do more jobs for you. And which leads into episode 5, which we'll cover in a little bit. But
you did blend episode 4 because it's is going off the fact that everyone's like super amazed by the end of
Oh, okay. I figured
the manga.
I did,
Yeah. Kana cries to complete it. There's like a bunch of girls watching it, and they're all like the Sweet Now, I think is what it was called. Yeah.
They're enamored by Aqua. Like he's such a great actor. He's also a good looking guy, and apparently everyone like he's a heartthrob there.
Yeah. No, you're right. We did blend episode 34.
And because they're so good. Like they really we get a lot of information there. But this is again one of the points I don't like is like it led to a dead end, and then it opened it up with like I have information.
Yeah.
Like so we're not ever getting the payoff that I want.
Yeah. So now when you're saying he has information because he's asking the director about Ai, they convince Aqua to be on a reality dating TV show.
Yeah, which leads into episode 5. But I love this.
Yeah.
I didn't like it in the beginning, but I was now because it introduced so many good characters. So he gets put in this reality dating show, there's also when does he say he asked Kana to be part of the idol group?
Hasn't come up yet.
Okay,
not in episode 4. Maybe in episode 5.
Yeah, well, we're on episode 5.
I think we just we combined episode 3 and 4.
Yeah, so now we're on 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the reality dating show, we get a lot of nice actors.
What's the name of the episode 5?
Reality dating show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's appropriately named.
Yeah.
So we get this kind of interesting scene where like everyone's talking about Aqua being like the heartthrob, and everyone likes him, and he basically has there's 2 characters that really shine out here. But the reality dating show is a show that has streamers, has YouTubers, it has actors, models, musicians, and they're all on this dating show. And at the end, there's supposed to be a kiss.
Yeah.
Which happens. But we get introduced to one of the characters named as we get Akane. Akane and Mem. Those 2 are the more everyone else is kind of not important.
Yeah.
Those 2 are the most important one. Yeah. And with these 2 characters, the reason Akane is so important is because she actually is she's not getting a lot of good buzz.
Who?
Akane.
Oh yeah. Well, the beginning of this is actually Ruby asking Kana to be an idol, and she's just refusing, like flat out, over and over again.
Wait, Kana?
Yeah, Kana refuses to become an idol. Yeah, and then it kind of goes into the dating show. Oh. So like the opening of this is like Ruby wanting Kana to be part of the idol, and she's just not having it. And also like the dating show is happening, and Ruby and Kana are both like watching it, and this is where like Kana's like, yeah, I don't like it sucks, because like the girls are like fawning over Aqua.
Yeah, like Kana's the love interest in my opinion.
I agree. I think Kana's probably my favorite, although I could see why people root for Akane going down the line.
Yeah, but Kana, as of like even after the Akane stuff, I really want Kana and Aqua to be something.
Yeah.
I feel like they both have something, and the last 3 episodes are really all about Kana, in the sense they talk a lot about Kana. But we'll get into that later. But they both kind of have like this deprivation from reality.
Yeah.
Which it's shown in obviously Aqua doing all these odd jobs, acting and being popular and famous. Cares nothing of it all. All he cares about is finding. It's
all a means to the ends of finding who was responsible for Ai's death. Like he's single-minded in that aspect. I put a note. Ruby has decided who Aqua should date in the show. I don't know who she decided, but apparently she did. After that, they introduced like Payon.
Okay, so Kana is now part of the group.
Yeah.
She agrees somewhere down the line, but she's part of the group, and they say we have a popular YouTuber that's going to help you blow up.
Yeah.
And they introduced this character known as Payon, who is wearing like he's like really ripped and muscular, and he wears like a duck mask.
Yeah, like a little baby duck mask.
Yeah, and he's so funny because his voice doesn't match his body.
Yeah.
It's like this.
Yeah, that was a pretty good impression. I like that.
What are we doing here? We gotta go, guys. And basically, he has him on the YouTube channel where they do this thing where they have to like work out with him, and like if he do it as long as he does for like an hour, he'll go ahead.
He's gonna promote them.
Yeah, he's gonna promote them, whatnot.
Yeah,
or give him a follower, show whatnot.
Yeah,
and then
the kind of twist to that is that he was gonna do it anyways, and he puts them through like a grueling like training session, and they barely complete it. Like they do it, and he's like, oh, I was surprised. Yeah,
yeah, and Payon is actually I guess he is kind of important because he has he has a presence later on.
He was definitely like a comedic relief of all.
He was pretty funny. Okay, can we get into this Akane arc?
Episode 6, ego surfing, and this is where a lot of the controversy comes from.
Yeah, this is the one where I remember thinking like, this is good. So Akane has been kind of not shining. she has not been like part of the like no one's like watching her. She has the least screen time, and the producers of the show, the director, the creators, everyone says you should be the villain.
Yeah.
You should be the bad person in the show.
I think even Aqua tells her that lying is the best way to protect yourself.
Yeah, which again brings back to the thought of like lying being a theme, and so she ends up like all this like floods out, and she ends up striking Yuki.
Yeah, that's at the very end of the episode. Well, maybe like halfway through. Some of the main themes are like Mimcho is just acting and on the show because she only wants YouTube followers. Like she's not into the dating thing.
Oh, okay.
Akane is like doing like method acting kind of, and so like her character isn't showing through. Like she's sitting there taking notes and listening to what everyone has to say, and that's when Aqua tells her lying is the best way to protect yourself.
Oh, okay.
Right? You know, like don't show people who you really are. You know, that's why, you know, because yeah, people aren't paying attention to her. They're kind of trash talking her on you know, Twitter or whatever the equivalent of Japan is. You know, nobody really likes her, and it's because she's being herself on the show.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And then this is where she strikes Yuki.
Yes.
She ends up, so Yuki is a model, so she strikes Yuki, and Yuki actually bleeds.
Yeah.
And she's very apologetic, and Yuki says, "It's okay, it's okay." What do you think about this?
It's because well, not only that, but yeah, she strikes her because Akane was beginning to stand out more than Yuki, right? And Yuki like sabotages her little moment, right? Like Akane is like has like a really important scene where they're both going after the same guy, and Yuki goes in and kind of like draws him away, and that's when she goes and confronts her and ends up striking her in the face on accident. One of the things I really liked about this episode is they pulled a Nietzsche quote, where if you gaze into the abyss long enough, the abyss gazes back. You know.
Yeah. Over my head.
Yeah.
Who says that?
I want to say Aqua. I don't know. All it is write the Nietzsche quote, gazing into the abyss.
Yeah.
A very, very famous Nietzsche quote.
Yeah.
And they pull that out in this episode.
Yeah, and it's and I get what what they're referring to as the abyss as being like the internet basically shitting on Akane, and Akane is just like letting it like build up.
Yeah, she's building it up inside, and then as she strikes Yuki, it causes all kinds of controversy because Yuki's a famous model. She cut her on the face. She's got like a photo shoot like later in the day. Like how could she possibly do that over this kind of bullshit? And then they just drag her through the mud.
Yeah, they exactly drag her through the mud. They're just running her mouth. There even people saying like you should die.
Yeah, they have absolute hatred. Like and they call it ego surfing because I think Kane brings it up to like Ruby in a conversation. He's like, yeah, you Ruby, you ego surf sometimes, right? And that's where you like Google yourself.
Yeah, like you're like looking up, like you're reading all the comments by yourself. You're like researching yourself, and it just shows, and everyone just is bad mouthing.
Yeah, and that's what Akane is doing. She's reading her getting dragged through the mud, and she's like just getting crushed, like emotionally. Like she can't handle it. She can't stand it. Like, she's at wit's end.
Yeah. And how does this episode end? I don't know if it's. I'm gonna start blending again. This isn't the one, right?
No, this is the one that caused a bunch of controversy. Okay. So it ends with her like, I want to say like Mimcho, and then we're like calling her, like telling her to be careful because it's like bad weather outside. There's like a storm. It's raining bad. Don't go outside. And she does. She goes out by herself.
Before there is one more scene that I'm forgetting here. There's a scene where she's like working out, and she's done working out. And she walks past like her manager or someone.
Oh yeah.
And this is what like really sets it off.
Yeah.
They're basically like just shitting on her.
Yeah. Or
shitting on him for like bringing her on.
Yeah. It's his fault that she's even part of the show.
Like you ruined the show like by bringing Akane. Like just like really being relentless on him. And she's hearing this all from like the outside. Like she's listening in, like she's hearing them talk about her. And this is what led to this scene where it's the weather's bad. Like be careful when you go out. And she goes out there, and this scene is a really, again, trigger warning for people that this is a trigger warning for suicide because she's let this build up for so long.
Yeah, and she's walking along, and she's on top of a bridge, and sees her opportunity. She steps onto a ledge. Yeah,
and before she steps off, she is rescued.
She's grabbed by Aqua.
Aqua saves her. Now, do you think Aqua was following her, or
I think they allude that Aqua knew that something was up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because he's very like intelligent about this he's very aware that
Mhm.
what Aqua or what Akane is going through.
Yeah, and like I said, he gave her the advice of lying is the best way to protect yourself, and that's not what she's doing. She's putting herself out there and then getting destroyed.
Yeah.
And so he kind of knew about it.
He like followed her and he grabbed her and saved her, and then they go to the hospital. Well, actually, they get arrested.
Yeah, they get arrested by the police. So this is controversial because the end of the episode, they actually have a suicide prevention like sign, which I didn't catch on my first watch through.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Yeah, and they had it, and I was like, wow, that was pretty impactful.
Good for them.
The second controversy of this, which I alluded to in our reception, is and also we were talking about how the manga author of Oshi no Ko says that a lot of these things are based on real events.
Yeah. This actually happened to him?
So I'll go ahead and read this controversy.
Go ahead.
Neither Akasaka, which is the manga author, nor the anime's production team commented on the similarity, and some viewers commented that the manga chapters on which the episode was based on were planned prior to Kimura's passing, which was a professional wrestler who ended up,
Oh, really?
Yes, and they were saying that it followed that type of story to the T, right? Even his own mother criticized the scene. Kimura's mother further stated that she felt the topic was portrayed with no consideration for real life cyberbullying victims.
What do you think about that? That's an interesting thought, because basically they're saying like you're not like you're just doing this for the show, right?
Yes,
you're not doing this.
You stole the story of the tragic story of my own son, and it has zero consideration. If I was that person's father and I felt that, I would come out and say the same thing too. Yeah,
but we got to think about like this episode. Hopefully, will help someone out there that's kind of rising to fame and feels the pressure, like Akane does, and that is a very common theme, like where you rise up and like, it just gets to you.
Yeah, Kimura's mother states that she felt his son was used as quote unquote free source material.
Oh yeah, well, that I can see that being and with that being said, though, it was a very dark episode. Yeah, it was a dark episode, and though you have to acknowledge this. This is actually happening now.
Yes, it's a very relevant thing.
Yeah, it's happening now, and we can't just let's censor it,
pretend it didn't happen, or
we need to
sugarcoat it. Yeah,
we need to acknowledge that it exists now, and then so people that are seeing this know there's other outlets.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they put that message at the end of the episode. But you told me I didn't see it. But it's because like Amazon has like because I have High Dive on Amazon, so Amazon skips it like in 3 seconds.
Oh yeah.
You got to be quick about it.
I was gonna say it was at the very very end of the episode on High Dive.
All right, so
which I might not have caught the first time, but yeah.
All right, well let's get into this episode number 7. It's called Buzz.
So
we get a very good scene. Like the Aqua is called. He's been arrested. And they go get him, but like they go get both of them, but Akane is there, and then all the girls show up, and they just like give her this embrace. Yeah, they're just like, "Oh, why would you love you?" And they're just really like sympathetic to the whole story.
It's really like the deconstruction of the entertainment industry, because everyone realizes they're all playing characters here, but they actually do really care for Akane. Yeah, despite what happened,
which was really good. I think this is the episode also where they want to paint a light of Akane as being this like a grand gesture to her by getting all the pictures behind the scenes.
Yes. Yeah, Aqua's pissed at like everyone online, so he decides he's gonna go and round up all the footage and show people who Akane is and who everyone here is. Right.
Yeah. And he actually goes and meets with, I guess, the media release guy. Yeah. And he says, like, "Can I have all the stuff?" And he goes, "No, you can't. Like, it's in the contract. You can't have none of it. Like, we don't release that footage. It's not. You can't." He's all, "How would you feel if your daughter?" Or I don't think he says that. He says, "How would you feel if you, the 16-year-old, actually went through with the plans that she had? Like, how would you feel, huh?"
Yeah.
And he ends up like guilt tripping this
Yeah.
guy to release information.
And he gets it, and it's actually a huge gamble for Aqua because it could backfire either way. And they kind of touch on it a little bit later in the episode. But yeah, so like Aqua edits this video and then posts it on like their like main official channel on like YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, and it blows up.
Yeah, it blows up.
It blows up. Everybody's happy about it, and Akane has been like off now. She's just not been part of the show, and
yeah, she's been taking time off.
Yeah.
And so it's time for her like to return to the show, right? And she's like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And this is actually what really makes me like Akane.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to figure out how Akane can come back onto the show, and I think one of the other actors asked her like, how would you get Aqua to like you? Aqua, what's your ideal girl, right? And then Aqua like goes into like a little monologue. Oh, she's gonna have the most captivating eyes. Like I forget whatever else he says.
Yeah.
And Akane intuitively understands he's talking about Ai.
Yeah. He doesn't say he's talking about Ai.
He doesn't say it's Ai.
But she takes all the information, and it really shows like the intelligence of this person. She just genius level intelligence, and it really about her passion, like the whole method acting.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Like, she really uses this information to build a profile of Ai, and then uses it to like benefit herself, to be the image that Aqua would love.
Yeah, and she encapsulates it perfectly. Like Aqua's like actually flustered when like they meet again for the first time filming, and Aqua walks up like prior to the shoot and is just like, hey Aqua, and he's like, what's wrong with you? And then she opens her eyes and she's got the 2 star eyes. Yeah, it's got the star eyes.
She has the infliction in her voice. She really pulled off this image of Ai, and Aqua is like into it. And it's funny because Mem goes, Aqua, hand me that purse, and he goes, no.
Yeah.
And then she goes, Akane asks Aqua to hand you that purse, and Akane goes, Aqua, can you hand me that purse? And he does it immediately, and she's like, oh.
Yeah. One of the things that I thought was really important about what Akane is doing is she's like, doing this background research on Ai, and she realizes that Ai has a secret she's hiding.
Yeah.
She notices it, and she intuitively figures out that she probably had kids.
Yeah. And then she tells this to Aqua, and Aqua's like, what else can you figure out? Like, so he knows that she can benefit his ulterior motives.
Yeah.
So he ends up.
We're starting at episode 8 now, which is titled First Time.
Yeah. About the kiss. First time. It's called First Time because there was a kiss in there.
Yeah.
But
so she's like,
yeah, go ahead.
Akane's like imitating Ai like perfectly, like, and he's flustering. Aqua, like he doesn't really understand his feelings, like he's like blushing, like the whole thing with grab me the purse or whatever. And this is where we get a scene where Kana says she's done watching the show, like because they're airing all these episodes where Aqua's getting flustered with Akane. And Kana's like, this show sucks.
Because Kana likes Aqua. There's something there though. There's something there.
Yeah, no, she definitely does like Aqua.
Yeah, the tension is there.
Yeah,
but so he knows that. But see, the reason he does it is because he knows that she has use. He can utilize this ability she has.
Yeah, he I don't think he realizes it quite yet in this episode, but yes, I think it's like whenever they're talking at the very end of the episode when asking her. Anyways, we're kind of getting ahead. So like Kane says like, I'm done with the show, et cetera, et cetera. Like I don't want to watch it anymore because she's seeing the burgeoning love between Aqua and Akane. And this is when like she's like getting flustered and like walking across the street, and then Aqua's like, hey, you want to skip school with me?
Oh yeah, you're right. I did skip this. This is a good scene. Yeah. He was like, want to skip school? And she's like, what do you want to do? We're skipping school. She's all her cheeks are all red.
She's getting flustered. She's like, are we going to like, I don't know, Japanese Disney World? Are we going to like?
Yeah, she has all these ideas. She's all, no, catch.
Yeah, we're gonna throw the ball.
We're gonna throw catch. She gives her a glove, and she's never played catch before. And it's like the scene is like she's hurt just throwing terrible balls at him. And, yeah.
And this was an important scene where Kane and Aqua are playing catch because like one, Aqua realizes that the boundary between himself and his past self is like slowly being eroded away. Like he's having more and more trouble distinguishing himself as the quote unquote doctor and his new self.
Oh yeah.
Like he realizes he's losing himself. Like he's becoming more and more like the 16-year-old Aqua, right? And so this is where, as he's talking to Kane, he realizes that Aqua knows that Akane has eyes like I guess materialism figured out like her mental state at the time, like she's got like the psychological profile of I, like she like this is when he realizes it. Okay. And this is when he realizes that one important thing that I think he realizes is that he's trying to like, so this is my personal take. Yeah. He's trying to figure out, because he sees I in Akane, right? Mm-hmm. He definitely sees it. He's trying to figure out, am I in love with her? Is she more like a motherly figure? Is it more my idolation of I from my previous life? Like he's got all those three going on as he's trying to figure this out. And he realizes that he doesn't love her, like love I romantically. So he doesn't see Akane as a love interest. And it's this point that he realizes that he can use her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was skipping it. I completely forgot about the scene. Yeah. And it's a really good scene. And it really is just a nice scene with Kana, because it really shows that Aqua actually includes Kana in this. Like he needed someone to bounce ideas.
Yeah.
And he chose Kana out of everyone.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot going on. Also, it's like he has no one else to turn to, really, if you're thinking about it. But
yeah, you can't talk to Ruby about it. Like, and yeah, I like that Kane is there for him. Like that she is his like
best friend.
Yes.
Like he doesn't only have friends, but
his crutch. Yeah.
And so I don't want to skip ahead either.
This goes into, so Aqua realizes he needs to use Akane.
Okay, yeah.
Right. He can't lose her. He realizes that she has too much insight on what she understands I. And so he decides that he's gonna date her on the show. And then they do the first kiss, Akane and Aqua kiss. And then after that it's kinda like the postseason kind of thing. And actually Kana watches the finale and watches Akane and Aqua kiss, and she's kind of devastated.
It's like a top view of her, right?
Yeah.
She's all stupid.
Yeah.
Like she says something she's really upset about.
Yeah.
And they kiss, and then they talk about
they have like an after party. Yeah. So then that's when Aqua and Akane decide, are we actually really gonna date? And they decide to do it for I guess appearance's sake.
Yeah.
For their professional careers.
Yeah. And that I feel like that happens a lot though.
Yeah.
Like so they do that and they decide. He says he's like, what is this? He's all, I really like you. I really like your acting.
He says, I don't see you as romantic interests, but I'm fascinated by your acting.
Yeah.
And to her that was like the greatest compliment. So she decides to go along with it.
Yeah, and that was kind of I think that was a great episode. I really like the idea of this whole first kiss thing, because it's Aqua's first kiss.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's Aqua's first kiss. I don't know if it's Akane's, but from an actor, he's an actor. His first kiss is on and a lot of child actors, that's how it is. But I like the idea of this first kiss with Akane, and it was a really nice kiss. It was very romantic.
Yeah, I like the way they portrayed it as like a dating show. Like they definitely did that, because they have I don't know, the dude like proposed to Yuki and she's like, nah, like I reject you. And then they have Mimcho on there, and the dude like sings her a song, I think, and she's like, no. And then this romantic scene where
they kiss. Like they were the ones that
they're the ones that were the real romantic.
Which is really funny, because Yuki actually ends up dating that guy.
Yeah, and then Yuki,
even though she said no, she ends up dating that guy, which is really funny.
In real life,
yeah. In the real life, she starts dating him.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Episode ends with Aqua and Mimcho having kind of like a deep conversation afterwards, and I think Mimcho says like she thought about being an idol or something, and then Aqua's like, well, what do you know? I got a group.
I got an idol group you can be part of. And Mimcho is a streamer. She's a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And she's already built a following, and she did not stand out at all to me. I thought she was non-important up until the scene. Yeah. I thought the whole part of the scene was getting Akane to be an idol.
You thought Akane was going to be the idol?
Yeah, I did not think fucking Mimcho was going to do it. Mimcho also wears like a headband with ears, like cat ears, like this right here, like cat ears, like this.
I think it's like devil horns.
Yeah. Either way, she's wearing like a headband that has that all the time, and so now we have a group of 3, and we get into this episode 9, that is titled appropriately B Kamachi,
B Kamachi.
which is the idol group that I was in. But see, how many members were Big Kamachi originally? I thought it was like 6.
I thought it was like 4, but I honestly don't know.
But this new group is only 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
which is going to be Mimcho, Kane, and Ruby.
Yeah. So I'm gonna jump into this episode, kind of what from Kana's point of view.
Okay.
So Kana, it really shows that they're practicing, they're dancing, whatnot, and Kana and Aqua have a falling out.
Yeah, well, it's mainly because of the dating show.
Yeah.
Like Kane's mad at Aqua. Like she doesn't want to talk to him. Like she's giving him the cold shoulder. Even like Aqua recognizes it and is like, if you keep treating me like this, like I'm eventually gonna feel hurt. And
yeah. So he talks to her like during the rehearsal and gives her water, and she's like, this water seems actually really important because it comes back later.
Yeah.
He gives her water, and she's like very like just pissed off at him, and she's like thanks but no thanks type deal, and he ends up walking off during the conversation, and they're not talking.
Yeah.
But the group got invited to the JIL, which is like the Japanese idol group or something like that.
Yeah.
They're gonna do a performance, and they haven't. By the way, none of them know how to sing yet. We don't know if anyone knows how to sing. All we know is they're 3 cute girls that are gonna be in the idol group.
One of the important scenes that they touch on is Mimcho is actually 25 years old.
Oh yes, that's actually at the beginning of it. Actually,
the beginning of the episode.
So Kana's dealing with that. Mimcho comes up and says, they say, Miyako says, "You have a secret. What is it? Tell me what is it?" And she's like, "I'm actually not."
Not a teenager. And it's funny because the dating show she was just on, she's like portraying herself as an 18-year-old.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not that age. He's like, how old are you? Old. And it actually was like a little math challenge. She was like, how old? And he's all like 36. He's all, what? No. Okay. And then she says like half of that. And I was all, what is she? So I had to do the math on it. It was like 32 and half of that. And you figure it out. She says that I'm 24 and then some. He's all, and then Aqua's like 25. So she's 25 years old in the school, right?
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. And we do get her like her backstory as well.
Yeah. She's quick on her backstory. She had a bunch of family problems, couldn't chase her dreams, had to work to support her mother and her brothers and sisters. And then, by the time she could chase her dreams, she was already 23 years old. Yeah. So then 23 years old, she became a streamer. Now she's here.
Yeah, she popped off.
She's going to be an idol.
Yeah.
All right.
And they all embraced it, by the way. They're all like,
nobody cares. Yeah. Even Akane is, or not Akane, but Kana is.
She understands the ageism in the industry.
Yeah, I thought that was
immediately she knows how it feels to be. And this is where these episodes start to really show Kana kind of in the front man of it all, which is funny, ironically. But she's basically like, these episodes really talk about her backstory, about how she was a child actor. And how she's just too old. We don't want her. We don't want her no more. Yeah. Like she's getting rejected left and right. We don't want her.
Yeah, they got the ageism.
Yeah. So they're pushing, and she understands it completely. And so they get invited to JIL. They know they have to practice. And it's really funny because we get another iconic character come back.
Yeah.
So Peon comes back in this episode, which is really funny.
I think you're skipping episodes. That's episode 10.
10 is Pressure.
Is that on Peon? No. I think episode 10 is whenever Peon comes on. You're skipping over the fact that so Aqua is gonna meet with the director from the dating show, right? Like he turned the dating show successful, right? And he's promising to give Aqua information about Ai, right? And he's telling Aqua like, you're so interested in Ai. If I tell you this stuff, it's gonna break your image of Ai. Like whatever you think about Ai, it's gonna go down the gutter, And then Aqua's like, I don't care. And so they go have sushi together, and this is where the producer gives them information that Ai fell in love with somebody.
Oh yeah.
And she fell in love with someone from an acting group called La La Lay.
Yeah, he calls them a workshop. That's the English translation that I got. They did. It was a workshop.
Yeah. So at La La Lay, Ai falls in love. And the producer promises to pull some strings to get Aqua in contact with them, right? And basically tells Aqua, in the future, because I did this favor to you, you're going to owe me a favor. And that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Right. And then the episode ends with, you were talking about Kane being the front woman or the front man. And they have like they can't decide like Ruby and Mimcho both want to be the front lead, so they decide to go do like karaoke to decide who can sing the best, right? And they both kind of suck, right? And then they're trying to figure it out, and they listen to one of Akane's old songs,
well,
like
Kana.
Oh yeah, right. It's so hard to remember the names.
But, so
Kana,
yeah. So Kana says, "I don't want to be the front person.
Yeah.
Don't put me."
She's denying.
Yeah,
it
she doesn't want to be the front person, and they're all making fun of her because she did like a commercial or something dressed as a pea.
Yeah,
and it's like the pea song, right?
It was the bell pepper dance.
Bell pepper dance, and it's funny because she says like, "I don't want to be the front person." And the funny part is that they go to karaoke, go let's listen to Kana's pea or bell pepper song.
Yeah,
and then they type it in, and Kana has all these songs she made.
And they listen to one called Full Moon, and then the episode ends with it's basically a music video of Kana singing that song. And it turns out she's a badass.
She's really good, and we actually find out even more how badass she is because the final like image is her at like drinking water at the karaoke bar by herself, scoring like 97% on the song she did.
Yeah. So then episode 10, Pressure, basically opens up with like Ruby and Mimcho know that Kana is a badass, so they want her to be the front, and she's just refusing, does not want to do it, like absolutely refuses. And then this is whenever they bring in Payon as like the trainer.
Yeah,
this is where Payon comes back in.
Payon comes back, which we love Payon.
Yeah, Payon's hilarious.
So they need to get ready for the JIL. So Payon comes in, and he says, "When you run up this hill, this mountain range, and at the top, do 3 performances every day or something like that."
Yeah, like exhaust yourself and then do the routine. Whatever songs you're gonna do, like run up and down the mountain, and then then sing your songs. What's actually kind of like a plot twist here is that it's actually not Payon.
It's not Payon, which actually I think it took me a while to figure it out. But so at this point, Aqua's really not in this episode at all. Yeah, he's not in this episode. He's not. Charles. He's not in this episode at all. He's just like. All right, let's cut real quick.
Charles distracted you.
Yeah, he did.
All right.
So where are we at? Peon.
Yeah, Peon's.
So you said that Aqua that Peon's not really Peon.
Yeah.
So I'll start from there. All right. So Peon it wasn't Peon the whole time. It wasn't. But we don't know what's happening with Aqua yet. We don't know what's going on with him. He's not in the episode at all.
Yeah.
But we get this kind of cool scene like where Kana is going through some stuff. She's thinking about being the front person. Who's gonna like me? No one likes me. No one loves me. Nobody cares for me. My mom left me. My man left me. She's like just hating on herself. And that's when Peon walks in and like offers her water.
Yes.
Which
she accepts this time. She accepts.
Yeah. She did with earlier. She like, and he's all, I like you in this. I like that you did this. And he knows her background. And he was she was like, "Are you a fan?" She's like, "I am a fan."
Yeah, and she's like, nobody knows anything really about me. And he's like, I know that you actually hate bell peppers. Yeah. And then they go into this little conversation about, I actually do hate bell peppers, et cetera, et cetera. And then this is where she's like, I could see myself dating Payon. Like, I actually really, I can talk like freely with him. Like, I don't, feel the pressure to like try to hide my true self kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's really Aqua.
Well, it's funny because Ruby and Memcho are in the studio or in the room, and they're like, I thought, he's actually just kind of slender.
Yeah, he's kind of skinny.
He's also the same height as Aqua. Like they're just noting things like that. And it's Aqua the whole time.
I was actually kind of caught off by it. I didn't think that. I thought it was actually Payon the whole time.
It took until they said all this stuff about the slender stuff. I was like, oh, I think it has to be Aqua. And then they're laying down.
Yeah, this is an important scene.
Yeah.
Because Mimcho's like passed out sleeping, right? And it's Kana and Ruby talking, and Ruby's kind of telling Kana about her past self, saying that when I was younger I couldn't even really move. I couldn't get out of bed. I was an otaku. Like I haven't really experienced life, and so she gives Kane her previous story of being the cancer patient.
Yeah.
Right. And this is why Ruby wants to be an idol.
Yes.
Right?
And we actually got another big reveal here. she talks about that her first love
Yes.
was the doctor.
Is the doctor.
And then she goes, I wonder how he's doing, basically.
Yes. And so she doesn't know that he's dead.
She does not know that he's dead yet.
He's been dead for over 10 years. And she
still thinks 16, so 16 years.
She still thinks that he's out. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Even longer. Yeah. So she knows that he's still out there. And I think she's like imagining him being a fan of hers. Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope he goes to my show and something.
Yes.
But he's been dead. Like he's been dead for so long, and that to me is like sad because I hope that they do something with that, where she finds out, because I feel like that could be like emotional, and I really like to see the voice actor kind of expand on that. But yeah, they're talking, and this scene kind of like ends with
so like
what's
Ruby's giving her backstory and she like falls asleep, right? And Akane is like, great, like no, I can't fall asleep.
Kana.
Like no, or damn it,
Kana.
yeah, Kana falls asleep, or Ruby falls asleep, Kana can't, and so she like goes downstairs.
And there's Aqua with the she's like, oh, Peon's up.
Yeah.
Well, she goes, oh, Peon doesn't have his mask on. Let me see.
Yeah.
And it was Aqua the whole time.
Yeah. So she realizes it's Aqua.
And that's how episode that's how it ends.
Yeah, and then it's still kind of like Kana still doesn't think anyone has her back. Like she's still, my parents don't really support me. Like I have no fans. Like they all turned their back on me. Like nobody is there to support her. And now she's getting scared. Like Kana is getting scared that the performance is gonna flop.
You go into the next.
No, final episode, Idol.
Yeah, final episode's called Idol. It starts off with kind of Kana's basically I didn't get any sleep. Like she's like everyone's slept good. I didn't get any sleep. I'm gonna sleep in the dressing room. But she doesn't realize that there's a bunch of idol groups and you share like the dressing room with them. Yeah. Which is really funny because like she's like I'm gonna get some sleep in the dressing room.
She thinks she's like a famous actor still, but no, they're like the
bottom of the barrel idol groups. And there's a lot to take in on this episode. So they go into this. She's hurting. She's nervous. But she can't show it. She can't show that she's nervous because she doesn't want because Ruby
she feels responsible for the whole group.
Yeah. Like she doesn't want to let everyone down.
Yeah. And this is what's causing her nervousness is because she's like, I've already failed myself hundreds of times. Like I've already failed as an actor. Yeah. I've already failed on TV shows. Like people hate me, but like I've never failed and caused other people to fail, being Ruby and Mimcho.
Yeah. And it's funny because like she's portraying like she's cool. Like, I've done this 100 times.
Yeah.
And then Ruby grabs her hand. She's like, oh, you're cold.
Yeah, you're like freezing.
Yeah, she was and then that's whenever Ruby says, you're a rookie. You're a rookie to Idol. You're a rookie idol, is what she calls her.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm a rookie idol, basically. And she's like, so you should feel nervous like us. Like, you should feel like us. Like, we're all in this together. And which I really was a great scene between Ruby and Kana. Anytime they're like together, I feel like they're really funny together.
Yeah.
They're a really good scene with them. But so Ruby and them, they go and she has this whole spiel about it. And this is
where they're called on stage.
Well, I'm trying to think about. There's a scene where Kana asks Aqua like, "Why were you dressed as Peon?"
Oh,
I don't know what part of this, if it's after the performance or before.
Yeah,
it has to be before.
It's before the performance. Yeah.
And then he tells her about like you were giving me the cold shoulder the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't being.
I knew you wouldn't listen to my advice. Like, and this is where they reveal that it was Peon telling Aqua how to train them. So it wasn't Aqua doing it, but he knew that like Peon was on vacation in the Bermudas. I don't know.
Yeah, he's all there. Yeah, he's out there being ripped and all.
Yeah. And
so that scene happened, and then now we can get to they get called into the show, and they do a song, and man, great music,
dude. The animation was on point. Like,
they did an amazing job with the animation and with the light show and everything, and they even talk about someone like an older gentleman walking like, oh, be Kamachi. I knew them when I was younger.
Yeah. I wrote his name down, Kuma.
Kuma, yeah. He's like he was like Kamachi. They had Ai. She was murdered.
Yeah.
And
he's like there's some friend he's with. He's like, I'm only here for Mimcho. Like that's how I know them.
Yeah.
Which I hated that. I hate the mouse archetype. Like I hate that they make him look like a mouse. Like I don't know why they do that animation. I'm going on a tangent here, but I don't care about that.
The wild turkey's hitting.
The wild turkey. Yeah.
So yeah, and he's like a teenager, so he doesn't know Bikamachi because Bikamachi hasn't been around for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So the guy Kuma's like watching them, and he's like, nah, these are B actors. Like these are people that aren't good. I was, ecstatic or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they begin their second song. I didn't write down what it was, but at that moment he's looking at Ruby and he sees Ai.
Yeah, she's Ai and Ruby.
Yeah.
Which I think they'll do something with that later on.
Yeah.
But the show's great, and it really is. I wish they showed the whole show.
Yeah, they only do 2 songs.
Yeah, but during the songs they're like monologuing.
Yeah.
And Kana's doing a monologue, and she's talking about so they basically they're using lights. So Mem is using yellow.
Yeah.
Ruby's using like pinkish red.
It's red.
Yeah.
Ruby's using red.
And Kana says white.
Yeah, Kana picked white, and they said that that's pretentious of you, because everyone fights over the white color, but they're like, but no, that fits you, and so like Kane is like monologuing, saying like, wow, like the red really stands out, like Ruby's color, and then she's like, everyone here is to see Mimcho because the majority of the crowds,
subscribers to Mimcho,
the yellow, and then hers is white, and so she doesn't really see anyone out there, and she starts falling into that pitfall of like, no one cares about me, no one supports me, and she's like starting to fail as like an idol, like she's her I guess if you want to call her a luster, her luster, her glow, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And then who shows up?
Aqua comes in like a superhero. Yeah. He pulls out that white light and he does this whole dance routine with all 3 of the lights, and it just shows that Aqua really does care.
Yeah.
He really cares about all of them, and he really cares about about them being like he cares about the group, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
But like he shines with the white, and she's like, "What is he doing? What?"
Yeah, they're all laughing at him.
Yeah, and like he's just like doing this show, like
he's going like all out, like being ridiculous about it,
and which really just like spruces up, and it also shows like I would have loved if he just used white.
I would have loved that too,
because it would show that he hasn't showed any interest in Kana yet.
Yeah, no.
He has not shown 0 interest in her.
Except for like, using her, he went and played like catch with her. And, like he respects her like as a fellow entertainer in that sense, but no interest besides that.
Yeah, like but he is attractive. He does say she's cute and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so they do a great performance, and then we get into a really good scene in the van after the show.
Oh yeah, I really like that.
This is a great scene. I just love, and I love romance anime.
You're the romance buff here.
I'm a huge romance buff here. So it's basically they haven't talked. They talked about why he was dressing as peon, but they have not resolved any of the issues. Mm-hmm. And she basically says something about like, how was the show? And of course, Aqua being,
no, it wasn't that good.
Yeah, he said it was okay. Like,
yeah, it was okay. Yeah.
She's like, can you offer better feedback? And he's like, no.
he actually says, you're gonna have much better shows than this in the future. It'd be stupid for me to tell you that this was a good show.
Which is really funny because he acts so serious more than when he was a doctor.
Yeah, he does, right?
Yeah, so he says that, and she's just mad about it, and they're still beefing.
Yeah.
And this is where Memcho asked about
it was Miyako who does it.
Yeah. Well, she asked Miyako, and Miyako says, "Watch this."
Yeah.
She asked about the relationship, and she goes, "Watch this." Hey, hey, Aqua, how's Akane? And she's all purely.
He's like, I haven't talked to her since the last episode. Like, we're supposed to get like ice cream. I don't know, like a week. Like,
we gotta do.
He's just downplaying.
Pictures.
Yeah, we got to get some Instagram pictures.
Yeah.
And then instantly, Kane perks up.
Yeah, she blushes, and he's like, "It's strictly professional. Like that's all it is. There's nothing there." And she perks up, and she's all happy because and this is probably like her like jealousy taking over, where she really just wanted, like, she didn't like the idea that he had like a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he just says that, oh, it's not real. It's like, it's just for the show, for the cameras.
So, entirely superficial. And this is where Memcho is listening to this interaction between Kane and Aqua.
Yeah.
And she realizes that Kane does like Aqua. Yeah. Right. And she's now torn because she's good friends with Akane, who I have reason to believe genuinely likes Aqua, right?
I think that's like
Like I think Akane would have been fine dating Aqua for real, but Aqua's the one that sets the boundaries.
yeah, but I also think it has to do more with the fact that he saved her and that he like showed interest in her and he knew and he like listened and was there for her the whole time like when she was going through this. Like he knew the wrongdoing. He made the video to like make her look better and the camera's light, you know. So really it's like she liked Aqua, but only because Aqua did all this amazing stuff for her. So I mean, I guess you're right. Yeah, I could see them being together.
Okay.
She would have been a great girlfriend for him.
Mhm.
It would have been fine. I would have been okay with it. But I would not be happy. I would not be happy because he needs to be with Kana.
He needs to be with Kana.
He needs to be with Kana. And I hope later down the line that Kana and Aqua have this serious conversation where he says, I was reborn as a doctor, gives the whole spiel, and I need to find out who killed my mother, Ai. And she's like, and then Kana just says, like, I'm here right now for you. I'm in love with you, and you're yet letting your revenge take over this. Like you're letting it ruin what we have. And I hope that happens in the future. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I feel like is the one that's gonna really bring Aqua back to life, back to reality. Like ignore these. He's not gonna ignore these revenge plot, but she's gonna find it problematic.
I like your predictions. I really do.
Yeah, it's good. I hope they do that. All right. So
you know, it'd be like I don't want to give too many spoilers, but you're getting close, but no, you're like missing the nail. Like
I'm telling
you're rolling a hammer here. And
yeah, I have a lot of but I'm aiming in the right direction. But yeah. I honestly I know that in anime the love interest, when there's bigger like a overarching theme like revenge or lies or any of that or world domination or anything, it always gets overlooked, the love aspect of it. We just saw this in the last episode of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so you know, there's so much that can go into this, but I know they're not going to be happy. I know his only goal, the only thing he's ever going to go after, is going to be this revenge. He's not going to ever let it go. Anyways, all right.
I think you'd enjoy this manga if you read it. You might want to pick it up.
Yeah, I'm already got a bunch of things can't pick up another manga.
Anyways, yeah. So that's kind of the highlight of episode 11. It kind of ends up with this. It's season 2's been confirmed. Gonna happen. So the very last half of episode 11 is them just kind of setting up what's going to be the beginning of the next season. The main thing is that they're gonna do a live action 2.5D play.
Yeah.
Of a manga called Tokyo Blade. Akane and Kana have already been scouted for this, and they've both accepted. They've both been accepted. It's got an interesting dynamic because the role Aqua accepts, which is his previous director pulls in the favor of him acting in it, and it's all produced by La La Le. Which if you don't remember, you know, is the acting group involved with Ai. So that's why Aqua wants to do it. So in this play, Aqua and Akane are the love interests of each other, and then Kane is like kind of like a rival to Aqua. Is what they set up. I don't know if it's kind of hard to, it's hard to catch.
Yeah, because
as you're doing it, yeah.
But yeah, they're all three of them are going to start it, and then we finally get a good rivalry with them too.
Yeah, so Kana and Akane are both rivals.
Yeah.
And then it reiterates that Aqua hasn't forgot about his revenge. He's still there for it. That's why he's doing this. Yeah,
but this whole scene with the rivalry part, I'm gonna kind of just jump in a little bit about it. Like it's funny because Akane Kana always gets the roles over Akane. She says that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's
like, I'm gonna.
So
it's
a two-faced rivalry.
Yeah, and of course Kana is like, that's my man.
Yeah.
And she ends up telling him like, don't post pictures. Preset your Instagram pictures for later, because then people are gonna find you, like I did.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the rivalry between them two, which I really hope they explore more.
Yeah, like I said, it's two-faced because it's the actual love interest of Aqua, and they're competing on the front of being better actresses.
Yeah, but they're both love interests for Aqua.
Yeah.
We don't know how Aqua feels, so
Yeah.
again, he doesn't explain. I really hope he ends with Kana, but it's me personally thinking that. And we get this kind of scene where he never forgot, where he's like looking at a flower or something, and like flies away, or it just ends like that.
Yeah.
Which I did not like the way it ended. I would have been okay with them ending it with a show and the bus scene.
And the bus scene, yeah.
Like that. Like if they swapped the back end and moved, I would have been happier.
Okay.
I don't like that he got 0 answers. All the loose ends led to nowhere.
The loose ends led to his next I guess clue, which is La La La.
Yeah.
Which is what this whole next season's building up to.
Yeah, but again, for season 1, he got nothing.
Well, he knows that the director that he was originally thinking could possibly be his father is not it. Yeah. He knows like some of Ai's background. Akane has like this weird like mental tap into Ai's like mental state.
Yeah, like her persona.
Right. So he can utilize that. You know, it's kind of convoluted in the way that the closure is. Yeah, there was no specific kind of foreclosure, but
yeah, like he doesn't get anything. Like it just leads to like another it leads to another lead.
Yeah,
which I didn't really like. I wanted more. I wanted him to be like, oh, I wanted a name, a person. It kept leading to things that just weren't panning out.
Yeah,
which I didn't like.
Yeah, well, his lead is La La La, so now that's where he's at, and it is about to be at.
Yeah, and that's going to be season 2, probably. Like that's going to explore the whole thing.
Yeah, going to be season 2.
Well, all right. This show is actually a pretty good show. I enjoyed watching it.
There's a lot to talk about. I can't believe we've fuck me, an hour 46 minutes.
Yeah, we got some editing on that, but this episode was really good. I was really into a lot of the scenery, the animation, of course, but really like the story. And so this is like a mystery romance.
Yeah,
but it to me, I need more. So I am looking forward to season 2, and maybe season 2 will like clean it up a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for what they're gonna bring, because I know that there's a lot that they can do with this. And again, I know you've already kind of explored all these ideas, but I would really love for them to just like dive deep into the romance aspect of it all, or dive deep into the mystery aspect of it all. Like pick a route.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. What are your thoughts on Ruby Aqua ending? Because Ruby does say she loves the doctor, and and she doesn't know that Ruby doesn't know that Aqua is the doctor.
Yeah, I don't want them to explore that at all. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like when they do that. I didn't like it when they did it on Attack on Titan, but they cleaned it up by making them being like they weren't actually related. I don't like.
Yeah.
There's a lot I don't like in when they do things like that, because there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go with what they're pushing on that.
Either that or you believe it's like love at purest form, like fuck all taboos.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's anything there for me. Like, okay. I feel like Kana is the one he should be with, because I didn't say this. They're both equally. They have such tragic passes.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I think Kana is my favorite character so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that they're both deprived of something. Like really, technically, they're both deprived of a mother. Yeah, I dying and Kana's mom just leaving.
Yeah, Kana's mom just deucing off.
So they're deprived of like motherly love, and I just feel like they'll pair bond better. All right, got anything else? All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching this episode. Yeah, thank you so much for these 700 subscribers.
700. We'll be back 1,000.
1,000? Yeah, we got it. We're gonna keep pushing, guys, and dropping episodes. So now that Thanksgiving's over, we're gonna go back to our regular weekly uploads, with another one dropping on Monday and Thursday. We will catch you guys later. Bye.
Later.